Hello, this is going to be an inventory showcase slash update of all the new skins I've collected over the last couple of years. It's been a while since I've documented my inventory like this, probably about 4 or 5 years. And yeah, a lot of things have changed. Gotten a lot of new items. I've had some of the same items for many years as well, and just want to make this little video to kind of just document the stuff I have so I can look back at a future date and see how much further I've come with skins, or maybe if I'm missing something, come back and check it out. So yeah, let's get right into it. So for this inventory showcase, I'm just going to go category by category within my loadout and look through each weapon and discuss each weapon that I have within each category. Sometimes there will be multiple that I use, sometimes there will only be one, but as you'll notice, most of my skins have stickers. That is the main objective of my inventory, the main theme of everything. I mostly have crown foil skins and Katowice 2014 holo skins. Those are the main things that I like to buy and collect. So as I go through them, you will definitely notice a pattern there. So yeah, let's get started off with the USP. First USP skin I have is the USP Orion. It is 0.02 float, the crown foil best position. This is one of the first crown skins I ever got. I believe I bought it in somewhere around 2018 or so. 2019 maybe, and I've had it ever since. USP Orion is, the Orion's got to be the best USP skin for me, in my opinion. It is just beautiful. The colors match perfectly with the crown foil, and it's overall one of my favorite skins that I own. So the next skin that we have is the USPS Serum. It's factory new with a Reason Hollow best position and an ESL Wolf foil second best position. The skin is one that I use secondary to the Orion. I don't enjoy it as much. The serum is just not as shiny as I would like, but when it comes to picking up Katowice 2014 holo USPs, the selection isn't great. It's usually between this, a Guardian, or a Stainless, and of those bunch, I think I like the Serum the most, even though it's not my favorite. But yeah, regardless, looks very good. I enjoy the Reason Hollow. Very shiny, very cool. So moving on to the next category, we have dual Berettas. For this weapon, I only have one skin. Looking to maybe get a Kato Holo dual Berettas eventually, but as of now, this is all I have. It's got one crown foil on the right hand side, and yeah, pattern looks kind of similar to the Serum. It's an old school skin, bright red, very shiny, and out of all potential dual Beretta skins that tend to come with crown foils or Katowice 2014 stickers, I think the Hemoglobin is one of the best picks, definitely. Next up, we have a couple of P250 skins which I use. I have on my T side P250 Cartel. It is field tested with a crown best position in Stat Track. It's a pretty nice clean P250 skin, not too much design going on, very simple. I think the gold contrasts pretty well with the silver base of the pistol. And yeah, it's just a nice basic clean skin, pretty old from the Vanguard collection. And on my CT side, I'm using the P250 Supernova Stat Track Factory New. This is definitely my favorite of the two Crown P250s. The Supernova is pretty colorful. It comes pattern based. This pattern isn't so bright, but there are patterns that have more orange integrated into the upper and the handle of the pistol. Nonetheless, it is very clean P250 that I've had for many years. And third, I have this P250 Nuclear Threat. It's got 4 Katowice 2015 flip side papers. It is minimal wear. I would love to eventually upgrade this one to a 4x hollow. But yeah, this sticker was basically meant for the skin. It's a classic no-brainer combo. Looks great in minimal wear. It still has quite a bit of wear to it, but getting these in factory new is not cheap. So next up, we have the 5.7/CZ. Have quite a lot here, but the main 5.7 that I use these days is this well-worn 5.7 case hardened pattern 278. It is, of course, a blue gem. This is one of the top patterns. It's between this and the 690, I believe, for being the best pattern 5.7 case hardened you can get. Personally, I like this one more because the 690 has a tad more gold, I believe, in the little corners here. But yeah, it's a great sky blue gem. Not that pricey either compared to other blue gems these days. I believe well worn cost me around $400. I bought this a couple months ago, and yeah, got the blue gem sticker on it as well, of course, to match. The main 5.7 I use, or the main CZ that I use if I'm not using the 5.7, is the CZ Victoria. It is Stat Track field tested with, of course, as most of my pistols have, a crown foil above the handle. The gold accents of the Victoria just match up so well with the crown foil on this one. It's a great combination. Although I don't really use the CZ that much these days because I have the 5.7. But when I do use this CZ, I am definitely picking the Victoria here. As far as other CZs go, nothing too crazy here, just a 00 float CZ Emerald with some flip side Boston 2018 hollows. Use that one sometimes, as well as the CZ Auto Twist, which I believe is also 00 float with this Cloud9 DreamHack 2014 hollow on the handle. This was actually a gift from my friend Kato. If you're hearing this, thank you for the 5.7. I will keep this forever. It's very clean skin. Moving on to the next category, we have Desert Eagles. My Desert Eagles are one of the stronger contenders for the best pistols I have. Starting off, we have Desert Eagle Cobalt Disruption. This one is in field tested. I wish it was more like factory new, but these are very hard to come by with iBuyPower stickers in best position. You kind of just gotta take what you can with these. I believe there's only about 30 to 40 Deagles in the entire game with iBuyPowers in best position, iBuyPower hollows. So when I saw this for sale, I had to pick it up. It has, of course, the iBuyPower here and another Katowice 2014 hollow, 3D Max on the handle, or on the tip, I mean. And yeah, I like the way the colors contrast on this one. the red on blue really makes the stickers jump. Next up for Deagles we have the Hypnotic. This is my favorite of the two Deagles. The Hypnotic just looks really good with any Kato stickers on it. It's a very clean base, white and black skin, very basic with nice holographic stickers on it. Just make it really jump out at you. This one is a .02 factory new. It has, of course, the Reason Hollow above handle, best position, as well as 2 Katowice 2015 hollows and an ESL wolf foil on the tip. This one is probably one of my favorite Deagles that I've ever had. I love the way that the hollow effects kind of match with the Reason in the box, as well as the other two stickers just add an extra bit of spice to it. Not going to really go over these other two Deagles, just very plain, basic ones. I don't really get a whole lot of use out of them. Alright, moving on to T side now for the pistols. We have Glocks. The main Glock that I use right now is a StatTrak factory new Glock Dragon Tattoo with a Reason Hollow best position. As you're starting to notice, a lot of my skins have Reason Hollows in best position. That's just something I enjoy collecting. I think Reason Hollow is probably the best sticker in the game when it comes to its color spectrum, as well as its pure size. It's just a huge block, and it catches a lot of attention, so I really like it. This one's very clean. It's a basic black upper on this Glock Dragon Tattoo, which is why I think the Reason Hollow makes a great contrast to it. The sticker really pops out on it. And like I mentioned earlier, the color spectrum on the Reason Hollow is just incredible. It goes from purple to green to blue to orange to red. Has a little bit of everything, so it matches with most skins. My secondary Glock that I use occasionally is this Reactor in factory new, .01, crown best position. It has a pretty good pattern on it as well. Glock Reactors come pattern based. Some are more black on the upper and some are more orange on the upper. This one has a bit more of the orange side to it. This pistol I got specifically to match with my Orion that I showed earlier. I crafted the Phoenix foils on this one and the Orion just to match. And orange is also my favorite color, so this was just a perfect skin for me. Next up, we have the Tech 9. For the Tech 9, I mainly just use one skin, and it is the Nuclear Reactor Minimal Wear with 4 flip-side Kato 15 papers on it. This is to match the P250 Nuclear Reactor that I showed previously. It is just a match made in heaven. These stickers fit the skin perfectly with the green and black. And as I mentioned, same thing with the P250. This one shows quite a bit of wear on it, just because it's minimal wear. And yeah, factory new ones are just insanely expensive. But yeah. So moving on to the next category, we have SMGs. This section is probably one of the harder parts of my collection that it took to collect. A lot of these SMG skins are very hard to find. A lot of people didn't apply a whole lot of old rare stickers on these skins because they just weren't very usable in game back in 2014, 2015, which makes them nowadays worth a lot more since they are quite rare to find. We're going to start off with the MP9. The main MP9 skin that I use right now is this MP9 Hot Rod. This one has a Mouse Sports Hollow on best position. It comes in factory new condition. And the color contrast in this one just fits perfectly. The red on red just blends in super well, and you get that extra holographic on the sticker, which turns green in certain angles, and it just looks beautiful on the MP9 Hot Rod. And this one is especially special to me because a lot of MP9 Kato holo skins are extremely rare and hard to get, especially in hot rods. I believe there are only a handful of Kato holos on hot rods in the entire game. So getting these from collectors is just incredibly difficult. So I'm very lucky to have this one. My secondary MP9 skin that I occasionally use is this MP9 Bulldozer in Battle Scarred. Float is 0.787, so it is nearly max float. I believe these cap out at 0.8. And yeah, this is just an amazing crown skin that I bought many years ago when trying to search for a good MP9 skin. The crown foil was basically made for the Bulldozer. The yellow on yellow looks incredible in game. Obviously this one doesn't have a whole lot of yellow because it's very beat, but I think that makes it all the more unique and cool to have. So yeah, there's that. Moving on to MP7s. I only have one MP7, and that is because I don't believe there is a better MP7 that fits me. I bought this, again, a couple years ago. I've had this for a long time, for the pure fact that it's very hard to find a good MP7 skin. And this one has a crown foil all the way in the back. Arguably, this is not the best position for the MP7. Best position would be somewhere one spot in front of this. But, of course, as you see with the Nemesis, it is going to cover the artwork if you place it in best position. So, in my opinion, for this specific skin, the crown foil is in best position, not covering the art. And this one is StatTrak factory new as well. Very nice end game MP7 skin for me. Moving on to UMPs. The only UMP I use at the moment is this UMP Blaze. It is factory new condition, and it's just a classic UMP skin, one of the best UMP skins in my opinion. Blazes with crown foils are just a classic combination. I used to match this with a Deagle Blaze with crown foil before I sold it. And yeah, this skin is pretty special to me. I got it a couple years ago. It's incredibly hard to find UMP Blazes with crowns. I believe there are less than 8 of them in existence, and I believe around half of them are 4 times crown foils, so this is a good budget option. Sticker, unfortunately, is not in best position, but with how limited these are, I didn't mind purchasing it with the crown all the way in back. It's very hard to find these. Next category, we have P90s. This is one of my favorite skins in the SMG category. This is one that I've had for many years as well. It is a P90 Cold-Blooded 002 float with a Reason Holo best position. If you weren't aware, this is the biggest Reason Holo you can ever get on any weapon in the game. This position on the P90 just expands the sticker to a huge size, and with that size you get such a great color spectrum on the holo effect in game. It just looks amazing. One of my favorite P90s in existence. So yeah, also I believe this is one of the lowest float Reason Holo skins in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And finally, for CT side SMGs, I have the PP Bison Brass. This one is in field tested condition with a crown foil It's not the best, but PB Bison isn't a weapon I use very often, as I would assume most people don't. But, you know, I had to get one with a crown foil, just for the hell of it. The brass is a very muted gold color with the crown foil placed on top of it, which is a much brighter gold. It looks really good in game, very shiny skin. The contrast of the brass color and the gold color just look really good together. Now moving on to our T-side SMGs, nothing will change except for the MAC-10. And I have some pretty neat skins in this category as well. First of all, we have the MAC-10 Graven Stat Track Battle Scarred with a Reason Hollow best position. This one is just super rare. One of my favorite MAC-10s in the game. This one and the MAC-10 Heat with the Reason Hollows are some of my favorite MAC-10s in the game, I would say, but this one is a much more affordable one. This one still cost me a shit ton of money. It was over $1,000 to buy this one specifically, but I am very happy that I picked it up. Once again, a best position Reason Hollow skin that just fits perfectly into my collection. Secondly, for MAC-10s, I have the MAC-10 Heat. This one was my main MAC-10 skin that I used for a long time before I got the Graven. It has 2 crown foils, 2 swag foils, and it's just super shiny. The crown foils really match up with the yellow hints on the Heat skin, on the borders. It was just a great skin to put the crown foils on, and another skin that I've owned for many years and probably don't plan on ever selling. Moving on to the next category of weapons, we have the rifles. And this is where it's going to start to get spicy. First of all, for the Galils on T-side, I have the Galil Cerberus, field tested with a Mouse Sports Katowice 14 paper. This one is neat because it kind of mimics the Tom and Jerry crafts that a lot of people have with the iBuyPower sticker chasing the mouse sticker. But of course there is no iBuyPower sticker here. There is a full-blown wolf, or Cerberus, which looks like he is eating the mouse, which I thought was pretty funny. This is a skin that you don't find very many Katos on at all. This is one of the very few Cerberuses that I even know that have Katos on them. And yeah, field testing condition, not the best, but it is a very unique one nonetheless. Moving on to AK-47s. This is probably my strongest category that I own, and we got a lot of stuff to look through here. Starting off with AK-47 Redline, minimal wear, .10 float. It is capped at .10, so this is just about the best you can get this AK Redline in. It is the #1 float for this craft, featuring, of course, 4 Hellraiser Hollow Katowice 14s. This craft is just incredibly beautiful. The wear on the Redline is pretty much non-existent in this condition, and the red stripes throughout the AK really match up with the hollow effect on the Hellraiser stickers. In game, this thing just looks incredible. As you can see, within the hollow effect on the eyes of the Hellraiser stickers, there is like a little flame effect that happens, which is just an incredible touch to this Katowice 14 sticker. This is the only Hellraiser Hollow skin that I have. I usually go for Reasons or I by Power Hollows, but a 4X Reason or 4X I by Power Hollow AK Redline would just be hundreds or tens of thousands of dollars, which is just not affordable for me. This one I paid around $12,000 for, I want to say. It's the most expensive skin in my collection at the moment. And yeah, it's the main AK that I use right now. Next up in the AK category, we have the AK Case Hardened Blue Gem in battle scarred condition, .60 float. Very good in the battle scarred category with minimal wear. It shines pretty bright in game, even for being battle scarred, just because of the float value. And yeah, it's the pattern 387. This is one of my favorite case hardened blue gem patterns in the whole game. I think it fits the top of the AK perfectly, with one little scar in the back here, which is why a lot of people mistake the 387 for the 670, which is also called a reverse scar pattern. This one, though, does not have as much blue up in front as the 670. This one does, though, feature a full blue back, which is one of the reasons why I like this pattern the most out of Tier 1 AK blue gems. Looks beautiful in game, gets a lot of compliments. People always mistake it as a 661 just because of the scar right here, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, with the matching blue gem sticker, of course, on the wood. And the last AK we have is arguably the most unique AK that I currently own. It is just a jaw-dropping skin, one of my favorite skins that I own, probably my favorite AK skin, one of my favorite AK skins in the entire game, honestly. It is the StatTrak Factory New AK-47 Aquamarine Revenge with a Reason Hollow Best Position, as well as 3 Dignitas Cologne Hollow 2014s on the body. The hollow effect on the Reason is just perfect for the skin, as you can see with the orange and green, blue color spectrum, just matches identically with the color palette on the actual skin. It is just an incredible AK skin that I'm very happy to own. Funny enough, this is not actually a one-of-one skin, though. There is one more Aquamarine Revenge with 4 Reason Hollows. That skin is worth over $100,000, so I don't plan on buying that one anytime soon. So this is a cool second place runner-up skin to that one that I very much enjoy. As well, as you can see with the Dignitas Hollows, the eyes turn to this orange yellowish red, which also matches the color spectrum on the Reason Hollow as well as the base skin very, very nicely. Moving on to scout skins now. We have 2 main scouts that I use. Have the SSG-08 Blood in the Water with a crown foil in factory new condition. This crown foil, unfortunately, is not in best position. Best position would be right outside of the shark's mouth down here, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. There's also a very low float one, .062. I believe this is like the 5th lowest float crown one, so I was happy to pick it up when I got it. Bought this one a couple years ago for like $200 probably, and had it ever since. It's just a clean skin overall that I enjoy. And my other scout skin that I use is this SSG-08 Blue Spruce Battle Scarred .66 float. Very beat up. It features 3 Mouse Sports Kato papers on it. This one is pretty unique just because of the wear on it. I mean, in some spots of the skin it looks like a default scout, but it has the triple mouse here on the body, which I think is pretty neat. Don't enjoy this one as much since I don't tend to like papers, but it's a good placeholder until I get a Kato Hollow one in the future. Next category, we have the SG553. Starting it off, we have a SSG553, or SG553 Bulldozer in factory new with 4 Godsent Atlanta 2017 hollows. This sticker was basically made for the skin once again, yellow on yellow. I enjoy my yellow and orange weapons and stickers, as you can tell. The factory new Bulldozer is a pretty expensive collection skin from the Chop Shop collection. It is in the same collection with the Glock Fade, I believe, which is what makes it pretty expensive. And in factory new, it has little to no wear on it at all, which is why I enjoy this one with the stickers. It's a nice little sticker combo. And my runner-up SG553 is the Souvenir, also factory new, Fallout Warning from DreamHack 2014. I don't tend to collect too many souvenirs, but this one was a pretty cool one that I'm happy to own. It is London Conspiracy versus Flipside, and London Conspiracy foils are hard to come by since this organization is no longer playing Counter-Strike. It's just a neat little souvenir skin in factory new that I sometimes use. And moving on to the next big category, we have the Ops. Now in this category, my most used Op is this one. It is a field-tested Op Asimov with a very good float, 0.26. Asimov caps at 0.18. So this one is pretty clean. With, of course, I have a Power Hollow and scope, and 3 Dick Stacy gold foils on the body. This one is just funny as hell. It's halfway a meme, halfway a sick Op because of the sticker on the scope. And it's very hard to come by any skins with the Dick Gold at all. I believe there are only a handful of 3x or 4x gold skins in existence, just because the sheer price of these stickers is outrageous. I believe each one of these costs about $600 or so. So yeah, making crafts is not cheap. The skin I purchased a couple months ago during the big Kato boom that is 2023. Got it for around $4,000, I believe, and I'm happy to own it. Next up, one of the oldest Ops that I own currently is this Op Safari Mesh Battle Scarred with a crown foil on the scope. This one is also somewhat of a meme skin, as you can see with the float. Very worn down, 0.7959. These cap at 0.8, so this is about as worn as they come. It just looks incredible in game. It looks like a default Op with the crown foil on scope. It's just a funny, amazing skin. I believe this is the third highest float one with crown on scope. The number one I tried buying, but it's got sold to my fellow crown foil collector friend Kato, so I'm happy that he can own it. But yeah, this one is very neat and I love it for the meme value. Third Op that I use frequently is this one, another very unique Op skin that you don't tend to see with Katos very often. This one I've owned since 2018 or something. It's a very old skin that I don't plan on ever selling. It has of course, Eye by Power paper on the scope. And I just love how this skin kind of matches the design of the Eye by Power sticker with this monster with its mouth open and the Eye by Power doing the same thing. It is from the Bloodhound collection, or the Falchion collection. And as I mentioned, skins from this era don't tend to come with a whole lot of Kato variants. This is from the same collection actually as the Aquamarine Revenge that I previously showed. And for the sheer rarity factor of it, I enjoy it a whole lot more. Moving into CT side rifles, starting with the FAMAS. I have the StatTrak FAMAS Sergeant in well-worn condition with 3 Katowice 2014 Ninjas in Pajamas papers and 1 hollow in between. The skin matches perfectly with the stickers. Once again, the brown on brown color scheme is really neat. A lot of people don't tend to care for the Ninjas in Pajamas stickers, but this is the only brown hollow Kato sticker that we have. So for that reason, I think it should get more love. Alright, now moving on to M4s. The main M4 that I use is this StatTrak Field Tested M4A1S Guardian. It has Eye by Power hollow best position, as well as 3 crown foils surrounding it. This is a skin that I bought around 2020, I believe, for a very cheap price compared to today's market. And it is the main skin that I've used for A1S since. It's very hard to find an A1S skin that looks decent, that's not a Blood Tiger or something like a Very Camo. One of those old M4A1S skins that just don't look particularly interesting. So I am very happy to own this one. Like a lot of my rifles, it has Eye by Power, hollow best position. That's kind of like the theme I was going for here. And the red on blue just offers a very neat contrast to the skin. The M4 that I use second most is this M4A4 Asimov with Eye by Power hollow best position. This one is in incredible condition. It's in field tested, 0.25, very minimal wear on the weapon here. As you may know, most wear on M4A4 Asimovs happens in the corner up here, above the Eye by Power sticker, and mine is very clean. I'm very happy to own this one. It is the main M4A4 skin that I use. Kind of matches up as well with the AWP Asimov that I have. Some runner-ups. I have this M4A1S Cyrex with 4 3D Max papers. This one doesn't get a whole lot of use out of me because I have the Guardian, but the color scheme on the stickers just fits perfectly on the Cyrex. And the oldest M4A1S skin that I've had, owned this one for many years, is a factory new Nitro with 2 crowns and 1 Navi hollow from Kato 15 in the middle. It's a very clean play skin that I used to use a lot many years ago. Moving on to the next category, we have AUG. I only have 1 AUG skin currently, and that is the AUG Wings in StatTrak Factory New with a crown all the way in the front. It is unfortunately not in best position for the AUG, but none of the positions honestly look that great on the AUG anyways, so it is what it is. It's a skin I don't use, well, it's a weapon I don't use very often, but I am happy to have it in a crown variant. And lastly, we have Scar 20. This is just a random Scar20 Bloodsport I unboxed. Nothing too crazy, just a simple skin. Moving into the next category, we have heavies. Starting it off, we have the Nova. This is the main Nova skin I use. It is the Nova Antique with a hidden crown foil in the back. If you didn't know, this is actually the smallest crown foil or smallest sticker position that you can get out of any skin in the entire game. It's pretty unique for that matter. And it is also in factory new condition. It's probably one of the better old Nova base skins that you can have that come with crowns or Kato stickers. So for that reason, I enjoy this one very much. Next up, we have the XM. This is just a basic plain XM Tranquility, Stat Track Factory New. Nothing too much to say here. Same deal with the Sawed Off. This is Stat Track Factory New Kraken. Nothing too crazy, no stickers or anything, just a basic skin. Moving on to the M249s. This one is very special. It is a Stat Track Factory New M249 Magma with a crown foil on it. There are very, very few crown foil M249s in the entire game. I believe there are less than 5, in fact. So if you are looking to get a full crown foil skin loadout, the M249 is probably going to be the hardest to get for you. I am very happy to own this. I've owned this one for many years now and don't plan on selling it because I don't think I'll ever be able to get one back again. And finally, with the Negev, I have the Negev Power Loader Stat Track. Oh, not Stat Track, just in factory new. 0003 float. These stickers match up perfectly with this, and it's just a nice, cool skin on a weapon that I will probably never use. Moving on to the CT side, nothing changes except for the mag. Here we go with the Mag 7. I have the Hazard in minimal wear, 0.07 float, very low float for the skin, with 4 red Kato 14 papers across it. This is a pretty weird one. You don't often see a whole lot of hazards with Katos on them. It's not a very popular weapon, that is probably the reason why. And especially for red Katos, doesn't really match at all. I think it's just funny. But yeah, it's the only Mag 7 that I use. Moving on to one of the last categories, we have the Karambit Doppler and M9 Lure for my 2 knives in the melee category. This one is a phase 3 with a ton of blue. You would almost think it is a phase 4, but it is not. This one in specific has an incredibly clean corner. Often on Karambits you see a lot of wear on this section of the knife. This one has a nearly flawless, no wear corner to it, which is very, very nice. The pattern, very bright blue. In some lighting it even looks like a sapphire, which is why I really like it. And the float on it is 0.02. I tend to use this knife with Battle-Scarred Pandora gloves, which fits for a very nice combo, which I will show eventually. And on T-side we have the M9 Lure. This one is 0.20, field tested. Not the best float, but also doesn't have too much wear on it. A lot of wear on M9s happens around the hole here. This one in particular has a fairly clean hole, which is something that I was specifically looking for when purchasing this knife. The Lure is just a very OG classic skin, and for that reason I really enjoy it. Plus the yellow on it fits a lot of the crown foil skins that I have in my inventory, so it looks very great when I use it. Moving on to gloves. I only use 2 gloves at the moment. The first pair that I am using with the Karambit Doppler are these Battle-Scarred Pandora box gloves. They are 0.47 float in Battle-Scarred. The float is very low on these, and I did that for a reason. High float Pandoras are pretty gross. You get a lot of wear on the knuckles on both sides, which is something I didn't want. These look like well-worn or even field-tested ones in game for a fraction of the price, and so I was very happy to pick them up. I believe these were around $2,000. Moving on to the next pair of gloves, I have the Driver Gloves Snow Leopard. These are in field-tested condition, 0.16 float, and the knuckles on these are pretty much perfect. There's no wear on them, as to be expected with the low float. And these also are pattern based. As you can see on the hands, they have this leopard print going on, and sometimes the leopard print can be very dull, sometimes it can be very dark black or gray, depending on the pattern. And I picked these out specifically because of the dark pattern on both hands. Right, and finally, the agents that I use. The main agent I used on CT side is the Scuba Diver one. I think it's just a funny character model. It's from the Operation Riptide, where you could spend your tokens and claim agents for them. This one has a couple of God-sent patches on it, as you can see on the front, on the arm. And yeah, it's just a funny, very bulky agent that I think is a good choice. And on the T side, I mainly use this one. This is Bloody Miami Daryl. And this is a very good choice in my opinion because of the actual wrists on this agent. A lot of agents have long sleeves that cover part of your gloves, which is something that I did not want. This specific agent has rolled up sleeves with a nice golden watch on the knife hand, which I think looks really good, especially with the Ad9 lore that I use. The gold on gold is a very well matched combo. And yeah, with the pink dress shirt, I think it's just a very clean, very standout agent that you can use. So that is everything for this inventory showcase. That is my inventory as of June 16th, 2023. I have a lot more skins and a lot more cooler skins than what I had previously when I did this back in 2019, I believe, 2018 maybe. And yeah, here's everything in the inventory preview. And I hope to make another one of these in the future when I get more and even better skins. So yeah, that's everything. Adios.